Hey, everybody, welcome to today's live presentation. And if you're watching the replay, I am so glad you're here. My name is Martin Holsinger, founder of Protractor Media and host of the Protractor Podcast, where we're all about inspiring, educating, and motivating contractors to have a passion for your craft and go out there and make a difference. I've been thinking a lot about you and what all we're going through as a country and as our world right now. A couple of weeks ago, I did an episode about 10 different tips for contractors who are stuck in quarantine. But I've been thinking about you, and if you're not able to get out on the job right now, um, I've thought of three different ways or three different strategies that you can use to try and earn a little extra cash from home. So that's what we're going to be going over in today's presentation. I hope that you'll stick with me to the end. And I believe that you'll come away with at least one idea that you'll be able to take and implement and earn a little extra cash from home. So let's get started with that. I've got a little presentation set up here. I want to share my screen. Make sure everybody can see my screen. All right. So we're going to be looking at three different ways to make money from home as a contractor. The internet is still on, even though most of the world, if not, most of the United States is at home right now or in quarantine. The internet is still on, which gives us all a tremendous amount of potential or of opportunity to take advantage of technology and use it. People are at home right now. You as a contractor might be feeling like, man, I'm stuck here, or the scope of work that I can do is limited. But so is everyone else. People are at home. Homeowners are at home right now with time on their hands. Also, homeowners want to spend some money. People right now, especially people that have plenty of money in their savings, they want to spend money, and they're looking for ways to get stuff done or spend some extra cash or whatever. And you as a contractor, this is a good opportunity for you to use technology at your service to share what you know and earn some cash on hand. I have found within myself that I'm a little bit bored and also a little bit, I guess, concerned with what all's going on, and I don't know what the future holds, and that brings about kind of a feeling of lack of control. And I believe that a lot of people are feeling that, and they feel like that if they can spend a little extra money or spend some money, it helps them keep that sense of control. I don't know if you've experienced that or felt that at all, but anyway, that's what people, there are people that feel that way. So anyway, people want to spend money and you've got time. So let's combine those two things. You have time, the internet is still turned on, and there are people at home that have money to spend. The second thing you have is you have experience. You have skill that you have built up over the years, and you know stuff. You know a lot of stuff, and you've got experience, and a lot of people want what you have. So you have experience, you have skill, and time. And they're stuck at home and they have money. So how can you take the knowledge that you have, the experience and the skill that you have, combine all of that together and serve your community? All right, we're going to go over three different ways real quick that you can do that. The first idea is you can build products. If you're a carpenter, if you are a home builder, if you are in the trades and you know how to build stuff, you could build things out of wood or out of metal or out of whatever and sell them to people. You've got time on your hands. So here's some ideas of some things that you could build. You could build wall art. You could just take like pallets and break them apart and make cool things that people can hang on their wall. You could build shelves. You could build, but I guess I'm talking about art right now. So think of creative ways that you can use the skills that you have to design or build art that you can sell. And you could sell this stuff through like the classifieds or Facebook Marketplace, or through your email, contact people or whatever, but finding a way to market this stuff and sell it. Another idea would be reclaimed furniture. A lot of people like the idea of reclaiming wood, and they also like the look of it. And so it's relatively easy for you. You can just, source the wood, whether you tear it apart and find that reclaimed wood yourself or buy it or whatever. But you can build some reclaimed furniture. Picnic tables is another good idea. So you could take a picnic table. I mean, just the old design, just the good old standard picnic table that, you know what I mean? Just the kind you see at Home Depot for sale. And you could build those. Or you could take some extra time and design something, or find a design that you really, really like and put some extra time into it. And then you would be able to charge more for that and increase your margins. I want to tell you, I want to recommend, if you start building products like this, that you build, I guess you could build one to get an idea of the workflow, but then build 10 at a time. Because what's going to happen when you build multiple products and have a whole set, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but if you have more than one of the same thing, you're going to refine your systems. You're going to get better and better. You're going to reduce the time at your saw, because you can cut all your pieces for all 10, like if you're building picnic tables, for instance, and then put them in 10 different stacks, and then just go through and assemble it. Boom, 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 boom. And now you've got 10 tables for sale. And I'm guessing the time that it takes you to build those 10 would probably be pretty close to the time it would take you to build one, especially when you're just figuring it out. That first one's going to take a long time. But then once you get it figured out, man, you can just build a whole bunch of these and then just have them for sale. It's a great way to spend your time right now. If you have extra time, this is something you know how to do. You've got the skills and you've got the experience. You just need to get out there and get it done. Another idea is raised garden boxes, and I'm going to put these two ideas together: chicken coops and raised garden boxes. Right now, outdoor gardening and chicken raising is trending. I don't know if you've noticed that, but people all across America are really into this right now. Why? Because we don't know what's going to happen. We're thinking, I need to be raising my own produce. I want a few hens to lay a few eggs. And I don't know how this works in big cities where people aren't allowed to have chickens, but if you have the space to build these things and the people around you want them, why not? Again, you have the skill, the knowledge, and the experience. There are people that would rather pay for this thing and have you build it than to try and figure out how to build it themselves. My dad just this week built raised garden boxes for him and his wife. So people are doing it right now as we speak. And if you would build these things and talk about it on social media and say, hey, I built a set for myself, but I'm going to go ahead and build 10 while I'm doing it, and I've got these for sale. Be interesting to see. I wonder if you wouldn't get all of them sold pretty quick. Chicken coops, I think, is a great idea, because chickens are, well, like I said, they're trending. people want chickens right now, and a lot of people don't know how to either raise chickens or how to build the coop correctly. Um, and so this would be a way for you to show your creativity as a builder, but also if you know how to raise chickens or what, I mean, you could give some advice and add some advice into your product that way. You could create not only the chicken coop, but like a PDF or a printout of or something, how to take care of your chickens, something that adds extra value to the product itself. In fact, on the raised garden box idea, you could even offer the soil. I don't know what the limitations are right now as far as quarantine, whether they would have to come pick up the garden box from you and then take it home. If you're allowed to go install them, you could offer the raised garden box is, I don't know, I'm just grabbing this out of the thin air, but $100. Okay, you're going to sell the box, and you could say for another whatever, I'll come and install the box and fill it with garden soil for you, and all you have to do is plant your seeds. So there's an extra value that you could add to the box itself and earn some extra money that way. Or, I mean, man, you could have the garden boxes for sale at your house and say you have to come pick them up, but then you could also have bags of soil there that you mark up and sell along with them. Trellises, this is outdoor living. You could build 10 trellises and sell them off one by one. Storage sheds, and then the last idea is tiny house. So as you can see, kind of the skill required and the scope of work go up with all of these, but storage sheds are in demand, and then tiny house, you could build one of these and then document it all along the way and tell people, hey, this thing's for sale, and they can be watching all along. And by the time you get done, there may be someone that's been watching the journey that says, I just want to buy that thing. I love it. And you could probably have it sold by the time you get it finished. So anyway, there's the first idea of how you can make some extra money from home as a contractor, is building products and selling them. The second idea is offering consulting services. I've got three different sections under consulting that I want to go over. But the first kind of consulting that you can offer is a design service. If you are in cabinetry or home design or any kind of business, contracting business where you already know how to use design software, then you are leap years ahead of people, because design software takes a while to learn and it's hard to, figure out. And I'll bet you there are people right now at home who want to do a project in their house, but they get on SketchUp and they're just like, frustrated. It's not as easy as it looks. I don't know how to do it. Or they, try another, free trial on some cabinet design or some, new house design software, and they just scratch it. It's too frustrating, but you know how to do it. You've spent years learning this software. You know how to do it. What are you waiting for? Seriously, hang your sign. Tell people that you're offering design services from home right now. I've got a case in point right here. This picture is of a built-in cabinet by Chris Kernat from Kernat Wood. And I reached out to him and I just said, hey man, I've got this mud room that, what would you charge me to design it? And we haven't actually came to an agreement on that project yet, but he's all on board. He's like, yeah, I want to start offering this design as a service because of quarantine. So, I mean, there are people doing that right now. And I want to encourage you, if you've not thought of it, man, think about it. Right now, you have this skill of designing, and there are people at home that want a design. Why don't you connect the dots and offer that to them as a service? And if you've already thought about doing this, I hope what I'm saying to you right now will be a big push in the back and get you going, because I believe that this is a very good way that you can earn some extra cash from home. So kitchens and baths, cabinetry and built-ins, remodels and additions, decks, and new homes. These are all different aspects of design and what you can offer because you have the software. Of course, there's interior design, but the interior designers, if any of you are listening to this right now, you're already doing this. I'm talking right now to contractors who go out on the job and install it. They build the product. They build they're a contracting service. If you are a contractor that does design, this is a way for you to offer services right now, even if you're not allowed to go build the actual product. There's homeowners that would like to do it themselves. And that brings me to the second idea of consulting. If you there are people at home that are, they got time on their hands and they want to do these projects that they have going, that they want to do around their house, but they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do what they want to do, and they just wish they had someone they could talk to. And this is what I'm calling over the shoulder help, or over the shoulder consulting. This is where you are looking over the homeowner's shoulder and telling them what to do. You could have daily or weekly video calls, or as often as the homeowner needs you or whatever, just text you first and make sure you're presentable, and then have a live video call or whatever. However you want to structure your service, what you're going to do is you're going to offer this and then sell it and then go through with it. I have an electrician friend. I was sharing some of these ideas with him the other day, and he reached out to me today and he said, man, I'm going to do that over the shoulder thing where there's people out there that don't know how to do electrical. Just have a video call, just on my phone, just a video call and say, hey, what you got? Oh, and he was joking about the idea of, connect those two wires. No, not that one. And then a big spark. But I don't think that is what he has in mind. More like how to retrofit LED lighting or something. Maybe the homeowner doesn't know how to do it and would pay $100 or $1,000 or whatever. However you structure this, I mean, your time is worth a lot. You have spent years and years and years acquiring this experience and this knowledge. And you could charge $100 an hour or more or whatever. Just structure your service in a way that makes sense for the homeowner. And then you have a personal one-on-one video call every day or once a week or whatever as they go through their project. So I just used the example of an electrician, but what about an addition? Or let's say there's a homeowner that wants to put dormers in their roof. They don't know how to do that. But with a video call every day, like, okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to cut in. I know we're talking some really big stuff here. And it may not work to do all that. But please hear what I'm trying to say. The idea over it is that there are people with time on their hands at home and they want to do these projects, but they just don't know how. And I remember back when I was getting started in contracting, I had my dad, and on some of my jobs, I would call him every day and say, hey, what would you do in this situation? And that kind of consulting is almost priceless, guys. And you should be charging for it. There is a time and there's a place for paying back, right? Or paying forward. Somebody helped you get started and you want to help other people and so on. But in times like this, when you have time on your hands, they have time on their hands, they don't know how to do it, you do, you could charge for a little consulting service and show them how. The last idea of under consulting is mentorship and tutoring. There are contractors out there that this is their first year in business. They're still super excited about getting started with their business. They don't know. They didn't go through 2008, 2009. They didn't go through the last 5 years of really good economy. But they're in this right now, and they're like excited about getting through this big hump or this little valley, however you want to look at it, and coming out on the other side. And they could maybe hire you if they have the money right now. They could hire you to show them how to get set up. And I want to give you some ideas. You have years of experience. You've developed systems in your business. You have apps you use, and you have the pricing that you charge for your service, your contracting service. These are things that a new contractor doesn't know. And I remember when I was getting started, I didn't even know what questions to ask. Do you remember that? When you were getting started, you didn't know what questions to ask either. And it was like, how do I do that? I don't know how to set up a system. I don't know. I mean, because think about it. A contractor has to get in front of people first and then get the phone call. Then he has to sell the job. Then he's got to bid it, or, figure up a price, a contract, and then get that signed. Then he has to start the work and get the work done. And if he has employees, he's got to manage the employees. Then he's got to do, progress estimates, invoices along the way that he's got to collect at the end, all while doing his homework in the evening